It's just fucking icy, cuz. So let's see what we find. So check this out. 3 third-pound 80-20 ground beef patties and 4 eggs. So this is right about like 90-95 grams of protein right here alone, and then the cheese also adds to it. So like I'd say 100 here, and then each one of these slices of the Ezekiel bread has 4 grams of protein each. So that's 8. So I'd say 108 grams of protein in one sitting, and it's pretty keto. You know what I'm saying? It's got this, but it's got organic 5. It's like 5 ingredients, and they're all organic, and it contains protein. So you know, it balances out. So this right here, boy, wow, it's gonna be so fire. I fucking know it, man. So let me just before I start grizzling. What did I press?
I want to look as young as I feel, and that's why I stick to this routine.
Been shown in studies to actually make you look younger.
I mean, I actually really notice. You know me, I'm always like Mr. Skeptical.
I get stopped on the street sometimes. People are like, man.
As somebody who used to identify quite happily as a liberal, I found myself completely disassociated from the woke left in a way I just never thought possible, where people on supposedly my side would start to become science deniers, biology deniers, but also develop this incredibly hateful mindset that if you didn't go along with everything that they believed, you would be cancelled, you'd be destroyed, you'd be shamed, you'd be vilified. And now, as we've seen with Charlie Kirk, you will actually be murdered in cold blood simply for having opinions that they don't like. It is, as I said at the start of this, it's unnerving. It's quite scary, actually. And when you see those TikTok videos of them so proudly talking about this, joyously celebrating a murder like that, I really do fear about what is going on.
Not even that it's about his actual opinions. It's about the opinions that many thought leaders on the left purport that he has, which are complete lies. So look, I am in somewhat of a reconciliatory mode here. So I'd like to ask Cenk, I have 10 headlines here he has put up about Charlie Kirk. They are on his channel right now, and let's see if Cenk believes that these are true. Charlie Kirk says prominent black women took white people's spots. Charlie Kirk boasts about his all-white basketball team. Charlie Kirk gives piggish advice to high school girls. Ex-employee exposes Charlie Kirk's grift. Charlie Kirk embarrasses himself. Charlie Kirk's brain melts explaining anti-vax conspiracy. Charlie Kirk rants about women in their 30s. Charlie Kirk has literally no clue how the real world works. Charlie Kirk gets triggered, declines appearance over pronouns. Charlie Kirk doubles down on women-hating backlash. I am telling you, peers, Charlie Kirk was one of the best human beings I ever met. He did not have a bone of racism, misogyny, or anything else in his body. But liars lie, and they gin up otherwise good people. From the little bit we know about this shooter, he had a stable household, he was going to college, he was fine. We'll find out where he got radicalized. But please, please, let's not pretend we don't know where this stuff is coming from. And please, let's not pretend that this thing is going both ways, because it is absolutely not. I also have, well, you know what, Cenk, I'll ask you a question directly, actually. Do you think Charlie wanted to be martyred? Do you think Charlie wanted to be martyred? Do you think Charlie wanted to be killed? Yes or no?
Of course not. What kind of asinine question is that?
You don't? You don't? Because that's pretty interesting. Because here's a video of you, Cenk, talking. Charlie was at a breakfast.
It allows for easy martyrdom for these guys, and they don't deserve it. But I do also want to point out, as they're in the middle of crying now, although Charlie was smiling ear to ear throughout the entire video, thinking, yes, I'm now the victim, and I'll get to claim that my rights have been infringed.
Did you catch the beginning of that, Cenk? Listen, we'll do it again.
No, I didn't, and that's totally out of. No, we're not going to do it again. Totally out of context. I don't even know what the hell you're talking about.
No. Listen, brother.
Are you trying to get harm on me? Is that what you're trying to do, you loser?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
No. I'm trying to
do conciliation.
Exactly what
this
people
guy,
like you
look at the last
done.
two things of your last two guests.
Piers.
Jesus,
no,
man.
what they
You
said
guys are
was, yes,
unbearable.
we should have reconciliation, but it is not without any contrition, right? It's not without a mea culpa. Charlie was accosted by Antifa at a breakfast in Philadelphia, and the video that I just played is you with a cartoon of him as Charlie Brown saying that he would love to be martyred so he could be the victim. Well, I guarantee you, his wife, who now doesn't have a husband, and his kids who don't have fathers, did not want him to be martyred.
What you just played isn't what
It's exactly what you said, brother. It's exactly what it was. Let's do it again.
No, it isn't.
We just
heard it. We just heard it.
It's not.
All right, so
it's not.
No,
let's do it again.
Cut this crap out.
Come on,
no,
we'll do it again.
Piers, can we talk about reality? This is something he's going back to like 10 years.
Well, I think Cheng should be allowed to respond.
What I said there.
And they don't deserve
It allows for easy martyrdom for these guys, and they don't deserve it. That was when Antifa was going after him at a breakfast in
Okay, so let's
Philadelphia.
let Cheng respond to that.
No, that was about words, you moron. Okay, Jesus Christ, man. All right, so now
Easy
let's get
martyrdom.
to reality, okay? Shut up.
There's a massive loss here on a human level of a very bright, successful young man who, like you said, he didn't smoke, he didn't take drugs, he wasn't a party guy. He was committed to his beliefs, and he was committed to, spreading the word of his beliefs, but also allowing people to debate with him about those beliefs. That's what a democratic society should be about. And yet here he is now, dead at 31, because this was incapable of listening to his beliefs without wanting to kill him.
So Ridge is already really good at the
Crazy.
wallet and all the everyday carry stuff, but I was
I'm still
surprised with how much they were able to do with their first foray into.
Yeah, Piers, look, this is a guy, I don't talk about it that often. I happen to be gay. It's not a big deal. I've been married for over 10 years. And I've sat with Charlie and my husband and his wife and talked about marriage and talk about the differences there and all of those things. And we talked it out. That's what Charlie was great at. I do have to say, though, on the political side of this, for where this conversation has got heated, it seems to me that everyone agrees that Donald Trump is not Hitler and his supporters are not Nazis. So with that in mind, I'd like to read some other headlines. These are video titles from Cenk's channel. And if in the spirit of reconciliation, maybe he wants to delete these things. Trump cuts anti-Nazi program. Trump spreading Nazi propaganda. Nazis encouraged by Trump's Charlottesville response. Trump defends Nazis, very fine people. That is the biggest political hoax ever. Trump retweets a neo-Nazi again. Trump disappoints neo-Nazi supporters. So these things don't come out of nowhere. I only blame one person at the end of the day for these murders, which is the crazy person who does the murders. But pretending that what is wildly asymmetrical, I think I have laid that out with evidence here, pretending that it's symmetrical is deeply, deeply dangerous. Piers, you know this because we've discussed it on my show. Even on your show, you have found it way more difficult to find rational, decent people on the left who will explain themselves thoughtfully and calmly and everything else, while the panoply of people you get on the right, who shouldn't even be on the right, I would say certainly someone like me, I don't know exactly where Batya considers herself, but people with a variance of political opinions now broadly are part of the MAGA thing, is because of what I just read you, the endless hysteria of the left that has ginned up people to do crazy things. It's not to say you can't say the worst things. You want to say the worst things, Donald Trump's a Nazi. It's so tough to say. You want to say that, go ahead and say it. It falls on the person who pulls the trigger. But if we're all sitting here saying, yeah, it's not true that Donald Trump's a Nazi and it's not true that his supporters are Nazis and he's not Hitler and all of those things, well, then before you get to reconciliation, a little bit of a mea culpa by some of us might be valuable.
Cenk?
Yeah, I mean, look at this. This is disgusting. So this guy pretending to do conciliation, and I was going to be conciliatory towards Dave if I spoke first, but apparently that's not what he's doing at all. So what he's trying to do is get people angry in a misleading way against me. Are you trying to
Are
get
those
people
your
to be
titles?
violent?
Are those the titles
this
of your
is
videos?
disgusting.
No.
So no.
that's-
Let me explain.
no.
Let me explain.
Those are your
so,
titles.
No, let
buddy.
me explain. You're asking me a goddamn question, so let me explain while you're trying to get people to do violence against me. You're disgusting. So those are 80% of those titles. I've never called Trump a Nazi, and those titles were about neo-Nazi reactions. So what do you want us to do? Not tell you
very fine
what's
people.
actually
Did that
happening?
happen?
And
Did
so look,
did Donald Trump side with neo-Nazis?
Yes, he
the
did
very
say
fine
that.
people incident
So-
in Charlottesville?
so
No,
as
he did it. Piers,
we've
how about you
explained
handle
on the
this one
Young
instead of giving it
Turks,
to me? Piers,
can
you
I
wanna
just
handle this
talk?
one?
So this monster is trying to egg on violence
What did Donald
as we
Trump
speak,
say after very
and he
fine
won't
people?
even let
I'm
me
not
talk.
talking about the neo-Nazis or the white supremacists who should be condemned completely. It's the biggest debunked conspiracy theory of all time. You're still pushing that now? You're still pushing the very fine people hoax now? I'm shocked even for you.
Dave, no. Dave, shut up and let me answer your stupid question. So on that day, which now we're going back to that for no goddamn reason other than you're trying to get people angry at me for misleading things.
I'm reading your title. You should be angry at your title.
He did. Shut up and let me answer. So did he say there are very fine people on both sides? He did. So that's a fact. Now, who was he referring to? As we've explained on the Young Turks, he might have been referring to the people who were in favor of the Confederacy and came out there to support Confederate generals. I didn't find that to be any better. Those people were in favor of slavery. Those people lynched black people. So I'm not going to ever cheerlead for them, and I'm not ever going to shut
Jake,
up.
in the very next sentence, did he say, I'm not talking about the white supremacists
so
or
you're
the
not going to get
neo-Nazis
me to
who
shut
should be
up,
condemned totally.
and you are against speech, and you're the one trying to smear people. So let me be super clear, and let me outrage everyone and then try to bring people together.
One thing I hate about debates, bro, the fact that they're always talking over each other, and it's fucking loud, screaming like a bunch of bitches. I get it, you gotta try to get your point across, but yeah, I know what I'm saying. Like, come on, man, like chill. Beepity beepity boo. 9 minutes present, misogynist, Pierce versus Andrew Tate. That's a long fucking debate, though.
We have got to the point where literally anybody can build a fully working app without knowing how to code. This is Base 44.
Women are permanent prey every single time they leave the house because of all of these liberal fears more.
You think yet? It's a few minutes after the video, news broke that Charlie Kirk had been shot and, as we now know, assassinated. We're going to bring you the Andrew Tate interview in full, unedited and uncensored. But first, Andrew Tate returns to give his reaction to this horrific story. Andrew Tate, welcome back to Uncensored. This all happened just after we finished our interview 2 days ago. Just first of all, your immediate reaction when you heard what had happened to Charlie Kirk.
I was devastated. I was very, very sad about it because he's one of the good guys, and he's one of the people who believed in discourse, and he believed in speaking and trying to explain with logic why your worldview is better than the opposing. And if we don't have discourse, then all we have left is violence and war. The point of conversation is to avoid the war. The point of conversation is to be able to sit down and be logical enough to come to a conclusion without the need for violence. And it turns out that that's becoming less and less likely in America today.
I mean, it was, as we get more and more information about the shooter, he's 22 years old. He had bullet casings with "Hey Fascist," "Catch," "O Bella Ciao," which is a reference to an Italian song adopted by the anti-fascist resistance during World War II, and then several sort of slightly ambiguous ones. If you read this, you're gay, LMAO, notices bulges, OWO, what's this? Which is a meme from internet culture associated with the furry craze. When you look at all that in totality, what do you think we're dealing with here in terms of who this person is?
I think America has a lot of problems. I think that it's an extremely politically charged environment, perhaps the most politically charged environment on the planet. Politics is all anyone talks about all day, every day. The judicial system is politicized. The educational system is politicized. You couple in with the fact it's the most medicated country in the world. It's very unusual for someone who grew up in Europe to know a large percentage of his fellow students to be on some kind of anti-anxiety medication, some kind of depression medication. These SSRIs remove the humanity from the mind and just wipe their brain. You couple that with a hateful media, which is constantly spitting out hateful rhetoric, and you're going to have a whole bunch of drones walking around without humanity waiting to receive their slave instructions, and they're going to believe that they're doing the right thing by murdering people as opposed to just talking to them. So America's a very, very interesting place with a lot of problems. It's easy to just blame guns. I think that's pretty shallow to do because you can kill with a car, you can kill with a knife. We need to find out why there's such a spiritual sickness across all of the Western world, especially America.
The governor in Utah gave a pretty powerful address today in which he appealed to people to tone down rhetoric, to get off social media, actually, as much as you can, get back to the real world where 80% of the population exists in America. you're very active on social media. You can be very inflammatory on social media. I mean, some of the tweets you've done since Charlie Kirk's death, the left are evil, murdering scum who kill people or let others kill people. They must be held accountable. They're not the good guys. The compassionate, nice guys want them dead, and they'll do it or encourage us to do it. I get 1,000 death threats a day from these people. We are at war. Civil war was another one. You know, some people will say, all right, Andrew Tate, you are part of the problem. You are yourself spewing pretty toxic stuff out to millions of people, whipping up rather than calming down the problem. What do you say to that?
Well, if you have a point of view, somebody can be radicalized by it, right? If you have any point of view on the planet, somebody can be radicalized by it. And social media, like all things, is a fantastic tool that can do amazing things. But if it's used the wrong way, it can also do very destructive things. I don't think the answer is to start telling people to not talk. I think the answer is more discussion, more debate. Because if you remove debate, the only answer is violence. So I think that it's also my tweets, which you just highlighted, the fact that I do receive death threats. Somebody did try to kill me only a few weeks ago, and then a friend of mine, a guy who I respected, was blasted, and I had to watch him bleed out. I think it's pretty fair that to say that, of course, my tweets are going to be emotionally charged. We can't get into an area where we say that we can't talk anymore.
100 grams of protein. Gone.
More, because that's only going to lead to more violence. We have to be able to speak to each other. And I think that you would agree, perhaps I'm wrong, that it's the left which seem to be the ones who are so obsessed with assassination. It seems to be the left which are more violent, Antifa and their riots, trying to assassinate President Trump. An attempt was made on my life. An attempt was made on Nick Fuentes' life. They just killed Charlie Kirk. For us to sit here and pretend that this violence isn't going one way is disingenuous.
I certainly don't think it only goes one way. I certainly think it can go the way of any extremist. That the far right has its own problem with extremists. There have been lots of left-wing politicians and public figures who've been targeted. So I think it's a problem that goes both ways. But I have said for quite a while that the woke mind virus, as Elon Musk calls it, that ideology is extremely dangerous, because the irony of it is you've got this kid who is, purporting to be anti-fascist, but actually using violence and a gun to silence permanently someone whose views he doesn't agree with. The point being, that is the epitome of fascism.
Well, that's exactly it. So the reason this is so dangerous from the left, and it's not as dangerous from the right, is because the people who are on the right live in a version of objective reality. We live in the real world. These people do not live in the real world. If you're going to believe that a man is a woman, and you're going to believe that we should have no borders for our country and unlimited numbers of people can turn up and just steal from us, if you're going to believe that criminals shouldn't go to jail, you're not a person who's sensible. You now have no parameters from which to operate your logic. So if you're going to live in a complete fantasy land, it becomes a lot easier to justify murdering a political opponent than it does if you operate from a frame of rationality. So for that reason, the left are far more dangerous, because all of their ideas are dangerous, because none of them are true. None of them are real. For the same reason it's dangerous for me to say to you, gravity isn't real, you can jump off a building. If you start believing in things that are completely falsified, completely fantasy, then murder is the end result of all of it. So the left is a serious problem across the world. It's a serious problem across America, especially. You add in a spiritual sickness where we have nothing unify us in the West anymore. We don't share respect for a flag. We don't share respect for the country we're in. We don't share language. We don't share religion. We don't even share economic prosperity anymore. There's literally nothing unifying us. And if you're going to remove the capability to debate and discuss ideas, then you're going to have an absolute civil war. And that's what's so sad, that Charlie Kirk literally was the #1 guy trying to speak. He wasn't trying to inflame tensions. He wasn't trying to push violence. He was the guy saying, look, let's talk this through and let me show you why you're wrong. He was the good guy who did the right thing, and he caught a bullet for it. And that is truly devastating.
But when you post civil war, literally one post just said civil war, what do you mean by that? What do you expect?
I mean that civil war is coming if we can't talk to each other.
Well, that's a different sentiment. Had you said that, then fair enough. But just to say civil war is...
Well, did I give a verb?
Well, what you're saying by civil war, you're saying to your followers that you believe there is a state of civil war here. Now, as you know, the Civil War in America was one of the most...
Our place has been PFAS-free since day one. I care a lot about what goes in my body. No white flour, no white sugar, and also what's made to make my cookware. When I'm
consequential periods in its history and was waged with gun violence.
Well, I can answer that in two ways. Firstly, if conservatives can't give their opinion and they can't talk openly and freely without catching a bullet, then I guess it is a war. But that wasn't what I was inferring. I was inferring that a civil war is coming if we can't speak to each other and unify behind an idea, especially the idea of being an American. You've now added a verb saying that I was trying to incite civil war, because very much like all other media figures, it's your primary intention.
I didn't add anything.
It's your primary intention to just spin up negative clips and
Hang on,
find things that get you
what do you mean I
views,
added?
and that's exactly what the liberal media has always done, which is why
sorry.
conservatives are under permanent attack.
Hang on.
We're going to now sit here and say I'm a violent person.
No, I
and
didn't
then
say
when
that.
someone else turns up at my house attempting to kill me like they did 3 weeks ago,
Why are you putting words?
That has nothing to do with you, Pierce.
Why are you
the liberal
putting...
media in and of itself is truly disgusting. It's the reason why Charlie Kirk had to eat a bullet.
Let me respond
because the
to
liberal
you.
media convinced this guy, this guy who's been probably looks like he's on SSRIs to me, that Charlie Kirk was the heart of evil when he truly wasn't. So please do not, in this conversation about a fallen comrade, do not do the exact thing the media always do and the exact thing that ended up getting him killed. Do not say I said something I didn't say, and do not give some garbage
can I get a word
inference trying to get a bunch of clicks
Can I say something?
on your channel. You may need money, but I don't, sir. So I don't care
let me
about
just
clicks.
respond.
You may be broke. I'm not. I didn't say let's go to civil war.
If I may
didn't
respond,
say let's start a civil war.
If I may
said this will
respond,
end it. I said
you can keep
civil war
talking,
because
Andrew,
that's
or
where
you
it's
can
gonna
shut
end.
up. I never added any verb. I literally read your post was 2 words.
And neither did I.
Civil war. I never
Neither did
added
I.
a verb.
You
So the
inferred,
whole
sir.
pretext
You
for
inferred.
your whole pretext for your little rant about me is based on a lie, which the viewers will know was a lie because they heard what I said. I never added any words to your post. I read out the words civil war and asked you what you meant
know what
by
the word
it.
infer
You then
means?
clarified it. You then clarified it. And I would say to you in return that if you don't want people to misinterpret your post, then maybe post what you actually mean rather than posting the words civil war, which I think are
posted what I meant.
incendiary.
Thank you very much. It's clear that conservatives are under attack by a rabid left-wing sect of the population, which is being radicalized by media figures, very much like yourself. That is clear. We just saw a man bleed to death in front of his wife and children, purely because the media convinces everybody at home that he is evil somehow for having an opinion.
There is
An
an
opinion
irony.
which is
There is an
controversial.
irony. Okay.
And MSNBC and all of these people who do this, even after his death, were constantly trying to make excuses for the shooter. It is disgusting.
Okay.
And I know you don't care, Pierce, but a man tried to come into my house and stab me 3 weeks ago. So for you to infer I'm saying that we need to have a civil war, it's actually quite heinous. So please be careful, sir.
I'm not the one who said civil war. You are.
I said civil war, and then you tried to infer. You tried to sit and ask and infer that I'm trying to promote violence.
I asked you what you meant by
First, you talked
it.
about how my tweets are inflammatory, and you're trying to say that I promote violence. Then you read those tweets out because you're inferring I'm a violent person, so that some idiot at home is going to watch this and believe that I deserve to die. And I'm telling you that I'm here. I understand you need views. I understand you need clicks. I understand your.
So you know, he's unapologetic about the way he's fucking completely like throwing this guy out of whack and stuff like that. All right, so this guy right here, Piers Morgan, he's had several interviews with Andrew Tate when it came to his like women trafficking cases and his all this other shit. Like whenever he would have him on his podcast or his show or whatever, he used to be a lot worse. I'm not gonna lie, Piers Morgan, he used to be a lot worse than what he is now. Like he's actually really calm now. He's not so rude, as far as what I can see, but. Before Andrew Tate, he came into the interview with a mad face on. You saw that shit. He was me mugging me. Andrew Tate's usually happy and smiling, smoking a cigar with, you know what I'm saying, with shades on and stuff. Today he's focused with his tight shirt, like a fucking aggressive motherfucker ready to fight somebody, right? You see the energy, you see the body language. That should always automatically tell you that he knows how this guy is. He knows what he's going to do. He's going to insinuate things. He's going to make it seem like you're not the victim, that you're the person like insinuating the violence and you're the one who is guilty and yada, yada. He's really good at making it seem like you actually are what you are being accused of. And he's very good at doing it. He's very good. He's very rude when it comes to it. You know what I'm saying? That actually he has a history of talking over people too. So Tate is just basically making sure that he knows who the fuck that he is and the fact that he knows how this motherfucker is and that he's not going to fucking have that shit. You know what I'm saying? That he's not the one. He knows from the past interviews that he still didn't win, that he's not the one. So for like the fact that if you guys don't understand why he's being so rude and so fucking aggressive with this fucking Pierce Morgan guy, is because Tate already has a history with him and he's a piece of shit. But I've seen a couple more videos of Pierce Morgan. He's actually become a little bit more humble, a little bit nicer. He's toned down the attitude and the dickheadness. You know what I'm saying? So let's just see how this ends. Oh, this is long, isn't it?
Poor. I'm not. I'm here. I don't give a shit about the views. Do not infer I said something I did not say. Thank you.
Yeah, well, I didn't, as everybody who watches this knows. So you just lied. Andrew Tate, thank you very much. Well, now here is that extraordinary interview from earlier this week, as it was recorded in real time.
My doctor told me.
Okay, so I'm gonna end this video because I thought I was gonna keep going, but it's pretty long already. It's already at 25 minutes. So deuces. Hope you like the fucking content, whoever the fuck you are. Nobody should be watching this. Get a fucking life.